And just thank God. Praise God. I want to show you where I came from. So some people don't believe much of my story, I guess. They don't know. Well, you can see right here the date stamp 12/20/2010. That's see me right there? That's where I started my little journey. This is when I was coming out of Lyme disease in 2010. You see where I was living? That is a 120-year-old farmhouse. And there were box elder bugs crawling around that house. And by the time I had to leave, they were crawling up the walls. So I tell the story about this red couch that I was laying on when I was sick with Lyme disease. It's right there. And I was still on that couch when I was doing much better. I'm going to show you the much better, okay? So this is 2010 right here. Now, this is when I started tithing and honoring my covenant with God. You can see I was looking a certain way, tired all the time. Look at my eyes, not much life. Just kind of coming out of Lyme disease, right? Really still kind of sick, and you can see I'm kind of fluffy. I had just done about 6 months of, I had to do steroid cycles for my immune system to be stronger. And it put on a lot of fluffy on me. I didn't like it too much. But anyway, this is where I started. And a good week, I probably brought in, I don't know, when I started getting my act together, selling guitars and things like that, I could bring in about $800 a month. But I was just getting started, and I had started tithing, you see. I had started tithing back when I was at zero, and I was getting up to the point here in 2010. This took me about a year. Look at the date. It took me like a year to get there. Like the first year of tithing to get to this point right here where I was just doing modestly well. Reality check, okay? Just take a look at everything you see. Look at my environment. Look at how I physically look. Look at the light in my eyes. I really started just contemplating God and then going after God. So let me show you where I ended up by 2013. Keep in mind, this is the third house that I had at this time, not even the first or the second. So let me go through a slideshow, see if I can find it. And these are all my videos. Here it is right here. So this is on top of the hill in the city where I lived. I literally took over the most lavish property on the top of the hill. Cash flow situation had changed just a little bit. $800 a month coming in, try like over 300,000 a month at this point. So I give all credit to God. Now that was a short 3-year period. All right. So this house was like a real milestone for me because it signified that you can really move into the palace from the pit when God exalts you. So there's an airport right across. It's on County Road JJ. This is 11680 Blau Road. And that's what it looks like in the back. Got the pool, the hot tub. You got the other hot tub up on the balcony. And lots and lots here, 9,000 square feet. They built it for $5.5 million. I got it for $1.9 million. It's selling to this day for $1.9 million, still for sale. It's got some issues. It's sliding off the hill a little bit. Some stuff that you might not like. But inside here, this is the gorgeous estate that I was able to occupy while I was in Spring Green. And from where I started, it was a far stretch. You see, that's a French stove. That stove alone was about $50,000. These, all of this cabinetry, these are all Sub-Zero. These drawers pulled out, Sub-Zero fridges and coolers everywhere. There was over $600,000 of Sub-Zero fridges and coolers. See these pull out right here? And all along here, you got pull out ones, freezers, fridges. You've got fireplaces, 5 fireplaces in here. Everything's turned on through a switch, etc. On and on. The amenities are just extreme. There's the sunroom right next to the kitchen there. You got lots of wonderful windows. The views are gorgeous. That's the master bedroom. That's upstairs on the main floor. That's where I used to sleep half the time. But it was a little eerie at night. 9,000 square feet up by yourself on top of a hill, especially after I had the encounter where I saw the UFO out the window. I seldomly slept on that level ever again. I went down to the basement and slept down there. So I'm in a mansion, and I'm hiding out in my own mansion. So anyway, master bedroom. You can see it's gorgeous. That's the master bedroom with the shower to walk in. You got a hot tub over here, fireplace by the hot tub. You got it's got music built into it, so you can use your Wi-Fi and play music throughout the whole house. My favorite was the shower here. You walk in, it shoots from the sides and from the top. It was pretty amazing. See that? You got a handle for all this, and it shoots out, and it's really cool. This is the office upstairs, and this carpet here was brought in from Italy. It's over $100,000 for this carpet right here. That's what they paid for it when it's $5.5 million build out. So it's got the quality. It's just quality. This thing's like a Rolls Royce, the way this was built. All right, you got kids' rooms. This is the basement, and so played a lot of pool down here. Had a jukebox with some old school stuff in it, like Prince and all the old songs. This is the movie theater around the corner here. A little workout center on this area. I set up my guitars. I used to jam out down here too. Little secret room here. You could pull that window right there in that little box. You could take that out, crawl in there, and there was a little secret area that took you under the stairs there. So it had a little fallout room. Largest fish tank in the Midwest there. You have to get in through the wine cellar and go in the back, and you have to maintain that once a week. Someone has to come in to take care of that. Wonder how they're doing that now during the lockdown. It's too bad because that has to be maintained all the time. That's a pretty big deal. There's the wine cellar. It's awesome. I mean, everything about it. There's the movie theater, real movie theater. You know, you got the stars. You can mess with all the lights, turn everything down. You got the stars on at night. You got your movie. It's amazing. The seats recline. This is just the back party area downstairs. This area back here is a storage area. You got your own storage. That's probably like 1,500 square feet by itself. That's the mother-in-law suite is actually downstairs. That has its own separate kitchen and everything, separate bedroom. So I ended up sleeping usually down here because it has an access through the back right out to the pool area. So if you need to get out of the house real quick, it's just direct boom right out the house. And that was the bedroom that I slept in a lot. That's the mother-in-law suite. So I moved myself down to the mother-in-law suite. This is the main living room area here. And in a moment, I'll show you where I had the supernatural experience. So I used to sit on this couch all the time, and I loved it because the sun would set like right down here, and I would sun gaze a lot right here, just let it beam down on my forehead. It would hit these windows. But one night, you see out here, this is the airstrip. Right out here behind where that TV is, these windows. That's the airstrip. So one night, I'm sitting there, and the UFO was right there. It took up the whole sky. So you can imagine, this is all dark. And you see these lights? It's kind of like this gothic type light setup. So when you light it up, it's a little bit eerie. It was kind of eerie. The lighting situation was a little bit, whoever owned this, maybe they had some ties to some weird stuff because it had some weird energy about it. But looking out these windows, the UFO took up the whole area. Biggest and freakiest thing I ever seen. So here I am. I'm on top of the hill. And I'm looking out. There's nobody around. You see, I'm pretty much by myself in the middle of nowhere. And the UFO is right there. So that's why, like I say in the story, when you heard my story, I went and grabbed my shotgun, jumped in my truck, and just peeled out of there, headed over to the other house where Sabrina was, and crashed there. Office downstairs in the main entry. These doors were so amazing. Everything was just so quality, heavy doors with just massive locks. I mean, this was it. This is awesome. So the pool area was really kind of cool to look at. The spiral staircase. I spent a lot of time out here just enjoying the sun and just looking at the accomplishment. This is what God gave me. And he gave me all of this stuff. So go back to the backstory here is I was already living in a mansion when I was here. I used to engender myself living in a mansion while I was surrounded by these walls. So this is what I've been talking about in my last several videos. Okay, I was already complete while I was here. So I remember having a conversation walking through that room right there that led to the bedroom, and I had box elder bugs crawling on my guitars in the bed. They were in the bed, and talking to a mentor, and she told me, listen, she's like, why do you still live there? At the time, we had been bringing in close to $40,000 a month by then, and I was still living in this place with rent that was probably around $200 a month. Because that's what our bills, we had to pay, this, I don't know, miscellaneous stuff. Cost of living was so low. I kind of liked it. Kind of liked having no cost of living. All this extra business income coming in. I was pretty excited about it. But I was already there. I already had I had everything within me. I was imagining it. So I went from engendering it for some time. See, you can see in 2010, it was 2013 when I moved in to right here, okay? So, people say, well, how do you prove that? Well, I made a video about it when I moved in right here. So I made the video Misfit to Millions. I don't like sharing it.
This is called How to Shift into a Parallel Universe and Create Your Own Rules. Have the life that you dream and desire of. And basically just have it all. Go from rags to riches, from sickness to health. Shift into any kind of reality that you want.
This is taking
a peek through my new house.
This is when I just moved in.
And I'm going to walk you through. It wasn't always like this. 4 years ago, I was virtually homeless. I was bankrupt. I had Lyme's disease. I was dying. I could barely walk a block. The amount of suffering I went through was unspeakable. And sometimes that suffering is exactly what we need to wake us up, to remember who exactly we are. You and I, we are the deity that we are seeking. We are the God. So in this video, what I intend to show you is I intend to remind you of how to tap into this power that you are. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is that creates your reality and your destiny.
So that was the beginning of my, my journey. And
try to chop you down.
And then you can see here, after I did all this, I really started to focus on, I kind of feel a little bit empty, because when I got to this point, I realized that it really wasn't it. I do like luxury. I like to be comfortable. But it really wasn't all it was cracked up to be, because I was being drawn to the ministry and I didn't know it yet. And I was actually more concerned about my physical at this point still than the money. I wanted the money to be free, and then I wanted to be healthy. So you can see kind of what I look like back then. And I started to do the same thing with my health. I started to engender my health. And I'll see if I can show you. Yeah. But you can see this is what I look like today. I mean, obviously, I leaned out. I got my health way, 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 way more optimized. I mean, I'm probably 20 times more fit than I was then. And this is me last year in the ministry. This is, 5,000 square foot place that I was occupying. And enjoying life. Not so much the 9,000 square foot multi-million dollar mansion that costs $25,000 a month to live at. That seemed a little excessive. That's just my personal take on it, and it was draining draining the budget pretty quick. So I, you know, more modest. God really brought me into humility and balance in a way where, my giving is far more substantial than it was, and it keeps me very, very in alignment with harmony. So, anyway, I just want to tell you how good God is, because it's real. It's true. I mean, when I got here to this house, this was used in a horror film. They had stuff all over the walls. They made like some murder movie. And the first 2 weeks, Sabrina and her mom, I was too sick at the time, but Sabrina and her mom were scrubbing the walls to get all that stuff off there. I thought my life was over. I thought, that's it. It's over. It couldn't get any worse than that, because I had Lyme disease. I couldn't hardly move. I had no money. Then we go to this place, and, can imagine none of this furniture was here. We had to piece all this together. And then we had writing on the walls with all this murder crap from us. And I thought, this is total insanity. It's kind of like the insanity that we're facing in the world today, just total destruction all around. And I just used the spiritual principles to just create the world within and overlay and walk into my dream life, even though everything around me was opposing it. It's the same thing we're going through now. That's why I invite you to go to MatthewDavidHurtado.com, go to my ministry and learn, because everything that I learned, I put in here and I teach. And so you can come here, idisrupt.world. 321 Prosperity Formula is a great place to start. All this stuff's available for you guys, because it's all consciousness at the end of the day.